The views expressed in this podcast are solely those of the hosts. All creative works discussed or reviewed are the intellectual property of the creators of said stories and are being used under the Fair Use Doctrine. Welcome to Swords and Soulmates, a podcast where we read, watch, and discuss romantasy and romance-adjacent stories. I'm one of your hosts, Mari, and with me I have Kelly.
Hey everyone, it's Kelly. We also have Ashley.
Hey guys, it's Ashley. We also have Jonathan.
What's good, everybody? It's JP. Living the dream.
Is it a dream or is it a nightmare?
That depends on the day.
The answer is always yes.
If it's a nightmare, then it's time to wake up. If heated rivalry taught me anything, it's time to wake up.
What was it?
Chrissy, wake up.
Yes.
What's that thing I heard this week from Mean Girls? The limit does not exist.
Okay.
I don't know. I have no frame of reference for Mean Girls, but I know that every once in a while I say something from Mean Girls and somebody accuses me of having seen it.
You're so pretty.
I know, right?
I saw it once, maybe twice, but it's been a long time. I don't remember much. But today, we're going to be discussing the forced proximity trope. So we're not going to be doing any news. This is kind of one of our trope episodes. But first, we're going to go back to, because it's been a while since we've done one of these, just define what tropes are. So tropes are literary devices that are used for storytelling. They're patterns used as shortcuts when describing or discussing books or stories. They're not good. They're not bad. They're just a describer, just like genres are a describer. It's an organizational device. It's a nomenclature, and every genre has their own tropes, even though there's some crossover. Popular tropes would be like enemies to lovers is the one that we've talked about before in a deep dive. There's love triangles, there's chosen one, found family, forced proximity, grumpy sunshine. What are some other ones?
Honestly, I thought genre was a guy I went to high school with.
It might have been.
For us, for people in my category, tropes are just a style, like a common theme.
Yeah.
Common theme. Yeah, it's fair.
Gotcha. Not tall ropes.
No.
Noted.
Hard pass.
Correct. So the forced proximity trope specifically is what we're going to be talking about this time. So what is it? It's
Magnets.
Basically, do what now?
Magnets.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So it's a catch-all term for when the main characters are forced to spend time together, whether they want to or not. It could be like through different devices or tools that the author uses to make the forced proximity situation happen. So it could be like fake dating, fake marriage. It could be an environmental thing like stuck in a snowstorm. It could be a common goal, bodyguard protector situation, stranded travelers, that kind of thing. And forced proximity isn't just something that's used in romance stories. It's used in most storytelling. Because you got to figure out, if your story is going to have more than one character, you got to figure out how to get them together. And as anyone who's played Dungeons & Dragons or who has run a Dungeons & Dragons game, Kelly, it's always interesting trying to figure out how to get your party together, your group of characters together, right?
Yeah.
Right. So like you have all these cool characters. Okay, why are they spending time together? What is going to force them to do things together? You know, you got to get to that point where you are the Fellowship or where you are the Avengers or whatever. Like, what is bringing people together? And forced proximity is where you use things to force people to be together.
Yeah. They killed that agent in the Avengers to bring them together who had all their trading cards.
Spoiler alert.
If that movie is a
Spoiler alert for a
matter.
15-year-old movie.
Good.
Yeah, we're good. And we spoil stuff all the time here.
Yeah, but you didn't warn them.
We're the chewable milk of podcasts.
Don't
We
you
spoil
dare.
stuff.
Chewable milk. What's with you?
Yeah, okay. That's making sense, Mari. I'm picking up what you're putting down. The whole, what was the agent's name? Carl?
I'm not
Colson.
answering that.
Colson. Thank you, Kelly.
You guys.
I'm standing next to Kelly. He gets me.
Kelly knows all the trivia.
Kelly knows.
So why is forced proximity so interesting? Why is it used in stories? Generally because it forces change. And if your characters are the same at the beginning of the story as they were at the end of the story, then you probably haven't told a very good story, right? People should...
Not an entertaining one.
Yeah, your character should change, should evolve, something should happen. So when you have forced proximity, it brings changes to their routine, their life, where they normally are, their place, and oftentimes there's a time limit to force something to happen. So it can feel like a trap or like a puzzle escape room situation sometimes. And it forces the characters to interact more intensely than they would otherwise. So you're making them maybe be vulnerable, or maybe making them face things that they are uncomfortable with, maybe dropping their social defenses, changing their expectations. And all those things push forward conflict and character development.
And is it a lot of times it's like opposites, like Star Wars, because Princess Leia versus Han Solo, they had very different upbringings, but they were locked in this environment. Is that kind of are they from opposing spaces?
When else would they have interacted if it wasn't for that situation, right?
That's true.
And so why does it work? Basically, it works because of the social psychology term that is the proximity principle. And that basically describes that we are more likely to form relationships. And I'm not talking about just romantic relationships. It can be friends. It can be whatever. We're more likely to form relationships with people that we see and interact with regularly. You know, very simple. But when it comes to stories, it could go wrong because the reason for forced proximity needs to be believable. You can't just throw a bunch of people together because you want to make the story happen and then move on with the story, because people are not going to go along with it. Your readers, your watchers, your listeners are not going to go along with it if there's no reason for these characters to be together, right?
Yeah.
So there's lots of reasons, and there can be more. I've just put a few in here of forced proximity tools used in stories. So the first one would be and this is not all inclusive, this is just kind of things I was thinking of. They have to do a challenge or a contest. There's a lot of books and things we've read that have that. So Hunger Games, right? They wouldn't have been thrown together the way they were, all those people, if it hadn't been for the Hunger Games, the challenge.
And it was forced.
Right. We have Serpent in the Wings of Night. They had that challenge. They had to do that contest that forced them to work together at times. Those people wouldn't have come together otherwise. That Christopher Broadbent book. We have The Games Gods Play. Abigail Owens had that contest aspect to it, and it brought people together. Any other movies or books that have that game or challenge aspect to it that brings people together?
Game or challenge? Ooh, was that movie with James Van Der Beek? Was that Friday Night Lights? Where he becomes a quarterback and then she's the head cheerleader, so they are drawn together. Football's a game. Yeah.
Another way that people could be brought together would be to do a quest or to solve a question or a problem. So in The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy, which was a good book, they're having to work together where they would otherwise absolutely not spend time together. They're having to work together to try and solve a disease for the greater good. And that throws them together to have to make this quest together, and then they get to know each other and spend time together, etc. as a result from it. Same thing with the book we just read. I got abducted by aliens and now I'm trapped in a rom-com. They were forced together by that quest of trying to figure out why they're there, trying to, get to the bird people.
Oh, yeah. No, you're right. Zom rom-com.
The classic forced proximity is Beauty and the Beast.
Right. So Beauty and the Beast, I think, falls into basically, and this is debatable, it's always debatable, but a kidnap situation. So ACOTAR, Farah and Tamlin, same thing as the Beauty and the Beast. I feel like those are the same type of tools for forced proximity, which makes sense. That particular ACOTAR book is a Beauty and the Beast inspired, retelling. But yeah, kidnapping, which a lot of dark romance stories kind of start that way, which I don't read a ton of those. Not there's anything wrong with them. I just don't read a ton. Although Mr. Right is a movie that starts off that way. It's kind of like a kidnapping thing and turns into like a weird romance. And it's really good.
Yeah, it's
Good
also
Spirits
called
would fall.
Stockholm Syndrome.
Correct. Yeah. Is it kidnapping? Is it a forced proximity, or is it just Stockholm Syndrome?
There's a little bit of all of it.
Ever-present question. Another kind of a quest movie or quest story is one of my favorite like rom-com movies is Only You with Marissa Tomei and Robert Downey Jr. She
I don't
has
think I've seen
That's an interesting. Yeah, that's an interesting pairing.
Have you guys ever seen this one?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay, so it's one of my favorites. They're basically there was a prophecy that she's trying to look into, that she got as a child, that she's trying to look into as an adult. And so they end up going all over Italy to try and figure this out. And I can't tell you a whole lot more without spoiling it. But yeah, you have Marissa Tomei, you have Robert Downey Jr., you have some other really good people in the cast, and you have like different points in Italy. And it's all shot like on site, and it's beautiful. It's a good movie.
The Michael. Yeah, okay. That movie Michael with John Travolta and then the other lady and then the older dude. I don't know their name. But that was forced proximity, and Michael was like foursome.
Is that how that really went?
Remember, he came back to Earth for the old lady to die and to get those two together. It was a total forced proximity kissing story.
I don't think I've seen that movie.
Oh, watch it. Good Christmas movie. Interesting. You know, if you want to know what John Travolta looks like as like an interest, like if imagine like John Travolta, Grease, but like too many Slim Jims and sweaty cheese, but he's an angel. He's the angel Michael.
I'm not sure I want to watch that.
It's
now that you've
worthwhile.
described it that way.
There's some. It's probably one of his better roles.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think so. If you're listening and you don't think so, my
Talk
name
to
is
us.
Kelly. Oh, yes. Yeah. Talk to us. Let us know.
Another like quest or mission based one that I thought of, which was an old movie I haven't seen in forever, was Green Card. Does anybody remember this movie?
With Gerard Depardieu?
Yeah. And
I never
Andy
saw
McDowell,
it, but I do remember it.
right? Wasn't it Andy McDowell?
I don't remember, but I think so.
So basically, they got together and they're having to like study and learn each other to pass the test so he can get a green card.
Mm.
So they're forced to spend all this time together. She's got her reasons for doing it. He's got his reasons for doing it. And they're trying to figure it out. That also, though, kind of falls into another tool that romance authors often use for forced proximity, which is like a fake marriage or a forced marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Because that kind of was like a fake marriage.
Like a
thing.
marriage
So,
of convenience and
right,
such.
a marriage of
Yeah.
convenience. You have like Bride by Ali Hazelwood. Fits
Mhm.
that.
Mhm.
Pretty
Good
Woman
book. I like the
had like a
book.
fake relationship situation.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Radiance,
Yeah, very.
that we read, last year or the year before?
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of a forced marriage, and then they spent time together, became friends, then lovers kind of thing. Fake marriage or fake dating is a fairly common one, especially like the fake dating one I see a lot in like contemporary rom-com books. I think it's used very often.
Didn't was there like who's the Ryan Reynolds and Sandra Bullock? Did they
Proposal.
the proposal? Yeah, that was interesting too. Yeah.
That was a good one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Another tool that's often used for forced proximity is an academic setting. You know, you're all trapped in classes together. So like Fourth Wing, they're in that school together.
Absolutely. Luna and that big-headed kid. What was his name?
You got to tell me more.
From he perpetual stiffness. What's his name?
Are you talking about Harry Potter?
Yeah, but what's that big-headed kid's name?
I don't think they were a thing.
And didn't he marry Luna in like the post-bookage
No.
I know the
story?
answers to all this, but I refuse to comment on that. So
So
I'm leaving you hanging.
Luna married somebody who was Newt Scamander's
I was gonna say,
grandkid or
yeah.
something.
Oh, well, in the movie, he was like, "Hey, I gotta go find her."
You're cute.
Okay.
A for effort.
Another like academic one is The Entanglement of Rival Wizards by Sarah Rosh. It's a good one. It's a magic school, but it's more like university level. And they're two wizards, and they're having to like compete for what is it? It's not a scholarship. It's a like research funding, like a grant. They're having to compete for a grant, and they end up allotting the grant to both of them, but they have to work together and they hate each other. It's a good story. I really enjoyed that book. Are there any other academic ones?
I mean, I think to a degree, The Love Hypothesis would land there, which was also Allie Hazelwood. Isn't that a Kylo fanfic?
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense. I see it.
And that's going to be a movie soon, I do believe. They're working on it.
I think like a Netflix. Mm-hmm.
So we'll see
a Netflix movie.
How that goes. Also, arguably, that could be a work relationship because it was academic, but it was also they were working.
Mm-hmm.
So workplace romances can be a forced proximity situation.
It's a big one, yeah.
You know, you're forced to be there. So like the first one I thought of was Assistant to the Villain, which we've read.
Yeah.
Right? Like would those people have been thrown together otherwise? No.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't think I see that one as forced though. Like those are choices along the way. I think more contemporary romances maybe do the forced proximity thing a little bit easier. Have you ever watched the movie or read the book, The Hating Game?
I have not.
So work rivals, right? Like their desks are across from each other and they hate each other with a passion. And that banter is like top tier. And then like, I think, Emily Henry probably has a couple of books that are forced proximity. I think she does, and maybe I'm conflating the author, but there's a book like called The Bodyguard, which is exactly what it sounds like, except the bodyguard is a female.
Ooh.
And the one that she's watching is like, like a rich actor dude, who has a stalker. Nice. And so like the forced proximity of the job, right?
Yeah.
And then they start to develop feelings. That one was really good because they couldn't stand each other.
Nice. I do tend to like the bodyguard type forced proximity, like Princess Diaries. I can't remember their names, but like the bodyguard to the queen.
Yeah.
Those two.
So
good.
Agreed.
Another like work situation, work relationship would be Jane Eyre, if we're looking into the classics. She was there to be his governess nanny for his kids. It's a good story. It's dark and twisted as well, but if you're looking for an interesting classic, would recommend. There's also going to be another new movie coming out of that with, I can't remember the actress's name playing Jane Eyre. She was on Euphoria. She's the blonde from Euphoria.
I don't know. I haven't watched Euphoria other than Zendaya.
Euphoria is so good.
I hear fantastic things. I'm just not brave enough yet.
Next month. I'm very excited. Arguably, Morning Glory Milking Farm can be kind of a work situation.
Yeah.
We have read that one together. Any other workplace romances that we've read?
I was trying to say it earlier and it didn't kick out, but I guess it does count as workplace. Was Good Spirits is actually.
Yeah. Because they're both working.
Orson, yeah.
That's a good one.
And it was it was forced too, right? So like he couldn't separate, like they had to go through this together. He couldn't just quit and leave.
Right.
That was a good one. I like her a lot.
Yeah, that was a good one. I'm looking forward to the sequel this year. I hope it's good. And then the other like forced proximity thing is just kind of a generic, like people being thrown together maybe by like societal constraints. So like Pride and Prejudice could be argued to have used forced proximity because the Elizabeth Bennet and Fitzwilliam Darcy keep like running into each other. And they're forced to spend time together, and then they get to understand each other, get to know each other, understand each other, and overcome their issues and start to like each other. Which without being forced to spend that time together would not have happened. Heated Rivalry does a little bit of this. Like technically it's a workplace situation because it's their job, but they get thrown together over the years at all these matches. And it turns into this long, years long situation. And the other one I was thinking was While You Were Sleeping movie. I don't know if anybody remembers that. Sandra Bullock and was it Bill Pullman? Do you guys remember that movie?
Sandra Bullock, Bill Pullman.
Wasn't it
and
Bill Pullman?
What was the premise of the story again?
So
Isn't he in a coma?
She believes she's in love with this guy she's never met. She works at like a subway, I think, ticket station, and she's in love with this guy who always comes by. And one day he falls on the tracks, and she like rescues him. And she's
While
like,
you were
"This
sleeping,
guy I'm gonna marry," and he's like in a coma. So she somehow gets introduced to his family as his fiance, and
while you were sleeping.
While you were sleeping, yeah. So she ends up like spending time with the brother and realizing that they do well together.
Oh, that reminds me of another story, Sabrina.
Yeah,
is that with Harrison Ford?
It's kind of similar to Sabrina, somewhat.
What about Romancing the Stone?
Romancing the Stone is definitely more like the adventure, forced proximity,
like a quest situation, maybe.
Yeah, that's a classic with Kathleen Turner and Michael Douglas.
Yeah, that's a good one. Also, kind of along those adventure lines is The Mummy. Right? They're having to spend this time together.
Yeah. I'm gonna bite my tongue there.
What was that?
I was gonna bite my tongue.
You're biting your tongue very loudly. You're biting out loud.
Yes. Yeah. Over both versions of Overboard. That's fake marriage.
Yeah.
Forced
proximity. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Sorry.
I like when there's forced proximity because it does force people, it forces the characters outside of their little boxes, you know? And so they're forced to interact in ways that they wouldn't otherwise. And so you end up getting interesting pairings, I think. Like I said, whether it's a romance story or whether it's an adventure story or whatever, you get interesting interactions between the characters because you're bringing disparate people together.
Yeah. I mean, the problem I have with some of the forced proximity stuff is that a lot of it's based on deception. So the relationship is based on deception to a degree, you know, and that's kind of crappy basis for a relationship, is that you start off your relationship based on deception.
Yeah, it can be like either deception or like that kind of forced time constraint thing, because then the author or the storyteller, whoever, has to make you believe that somehow this works outside of that forced proximity. You know, that it continues to work when this forced proximity situation is removed.
I mean, arguably, you know, some of that too is like, I think probably both Anthony and Daphne's stories for, you know, the Bridgerton stuff, those are pretty forced proximities. I mean, they put themselves in an interesting situation so that they were constantly in those circles. And at that time, right, society was the same circles.
Mm-hmm. The ton.
Yeah, the ton. Although I think Anthony's was probably more forced proximity than Daphne's. That was a good, I think that was probably the best season, was Anthony's. The tension between him and Kate was just top tier.
Yeah. Any other storylines we can think of that are forced proximity, or any other aspects of forced proximity?
Aspects of forced proximity. So they don't have to, they should be opposites. They don't have to like each other. And the forced proximity is what awakens their love or their attraction.
I mean, it doesn't have to be opposites. It can just, it's people who wouldn't necessarily interact otherwise. So
like Carl and Donut, dear.
God damn it, Donut.
That is purely forced proximity.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be both sided either. Like one can be in love with the other and the other is just like.
Did we say Wolf Gone Wild? She's in this quest to save.
You're right.
And it is kind of a working relationship, right? Doesn't he hire her? I would say
it's also very like a quest situation where like they're looking for the cure to his situation. And they're having to spend the time together to do that. I love that story.
We love Juliet Cross.
Another kind of a quest type forced proximity story would be a 10th Kingdom, which I know I talk about a lot. Kelly's seen it. I don't know if you guys saw it, but it's that miniseries. God, when did it come out, Kelly?
Oh gosh, early 2000s.
It's a little older.
Yeah.
I don't think Jonathan, I think we tried and it wasn't Jonathan's favorite.
What was it?
The 10th Kingdom?
Probably not. It's, for some reason, that doesn't sound like one I would like.
I was trying to be nice. I don't think he liked it at all.
Yeah.
It's fine. We all have our things we like and dislike. Yeah, but for the most part, I think forced proximity works well to bring people together in interesting situations. So it makes for interesting stories.
I mean, it can. I just think that it can be easily overused. And sometimes it feels like it's a crutch to the storyline, a reason for the characters to be together. And then you just add more reasons for it to continue.
Yeah.
And really, part of it is not just the, ethical issues about somebody being potentially held against their will, and you end up with Stockholm syndrome, but also they go through a traumatic experience, high tension, life and death experiences, etc. So now, the whole trauma bonding aspect of it, is it a relationship that's actually built on love, or is it the shared trauma bonding?
Right. Is it trauma bonding? No, I mean, that's a good point. And it can be overused a lot. Like in I Got Abducted by Aliens, they even made fun of it. They were like the whole one bed trope. You guys remember that?
Yep.
Yes, in the cul-de-sac houses.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, and like often in more fantasy type stories, you have like the one horse thing. They have to travel on one horse. Like, yeah, some of these can be overused, but then again, if it's a thing you like, then you're going to gravitate towards it, if that's your jam. So I like when my stories get a little meta and they make fun of the expected tropes. So
I think it's a literary device that's fine, I guess, but I don't know. It feels like it's definitely overused in romantasy.
yeah, I mean, it can be romantasy or like romance in general. But yeah, I would say romantasy does tend to have a lot of because there's a lot of fairy tale retellings kind of woven into romantasy, you do get a lot of like the Beauty and the Beast kidnapping thing.
Right. I mean, and essentially you want the readers to, have the characters develop their, personalities with each other, develop their feelings for each other. And so the forced proximity is one way to expedite that along as far as, pacing of the story.
Yeah. Anything else we want to bring up about this?
About forced proximity?
Yes.
Do they ever get away?
Well, that's
Sometimes.
the question. Yeah. Like, what happens when they get away? Like, if the connection is real, then you have you could have a HEA, right? Happily ever after. But maybe it's just a happy for now. Right? I don't remember who said this, but all love stories are tragedies. It just depends on where you stop telling the story. To be grim about it.
So we talked about the Hunger Games, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's when that ended, right? You were there was some trauma built off those games, right?
All the trauma.
And was it true love, and was trauma built from that true love? I struggle to think that Peeta was her true love.
Was it true love or was it trauma bonding?
Correct.
I don't know. Honestly, I think that I would have been fine with that story if it wasn't like a romance love story at the end. I think they just all needed therapy at the end. I think they had PTSD and just needed to figure out how to move on and live their life after all that. I always had a hard time feeling the romance of that being real because I felt like there was too much trauma. They needed to get their stuff together. And, if I remember right, it's been a long time since I read these books, but if I remember right, there was a big time jump where it showed them in the epilogue together, right?
Yeah, quite some time passed.
So, I mean, maybe they have dealt with their trauma. It's just since we weren't really privy to that, I don't know, you know?
I mean, the same could be said about multiple points in actual human history, right? Like after World War II, were any of those people actual love matches, or were you taking the comfort of the human that you felt closest to at that point?
Right.
Right. So, I mean, for Peeta and Katniss, I don't think we're talking about fated mates, but I think the trauma that they experienced together made them realize that they were happier together than apart.
Right. It was definitely trauma bonding.
Yeah.
For sure. And for a time and space where there hardly weren't any fucking therapists. Right. They're just doing the best that they can with what they had. I mean, she held to her not principles, but like, you know, for a very long time, she didn't want to have children. She didn't feel safe. She was dealing with her trauma until, you know, and I think she says something to the effect of he talked her into it. But I don't think Katniss does anything she doesn't ultimately want to do in the same breath.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think there is something for having gone through an experience together and bonding through it, whether it be a positive or a negative experience. And I think if you can get through something like what they did and come out on the other side, then, you know, they're probably going to be able to get through almost anything. So while Peeta might not have been perfect, he wasn't the alpha, but she talks about that too. You know, the calm. He brings the calm to her. I forget the word that she uses, but it was like wildness or chaos.
Yeah.
She's talking about balance without, you know, having the education or the emotional intelligence to articulate it.
Yeah. I mean, I think of the choices she was presented with, he was the best of those choices for her. But I think it's definitely debatable because there was absolutely lots of trauma. I mean, not
they were
to say that like a
babies.
romance can't come out of the trauma, but it's a lot of work that's got to be done too.
Oh, forced proximity, A Cruel Prince.
Oh yeah, that's another
Cruel
good one.
Prince. Mm-hmm. Such a good series.
I need to reread that one. All right. Anything else we want to talk about forced proximity before we wrap it up?
I feel good about this.
Pretty short, just 35 minutes.
Oh, we need more? Husband.
So, what do you want me to talk about?
We need more.
Forced proximity. Forced proximity. Forced proximity. Forced proximity. Forced proximity. I don't know. It's under pressure. Dang.
Use your thinker.
Let's see. Okay, yeah, let me use my thinkicles. Okay. Forced proximity. What's our IP at theme parks? Oh, boom. Got it. Ready? This is romantasy. Okay, here we go. Donkey and the dragon.
I don't think that's forced proximity.
Yeah, she like hold him hostage.
Does she?
Does she kidnap him?
Yes, and then there's some donkey-faced dragons that come out of it. Forced proximity.
Little
You're
baby
welcome.
dragons. Donkey dragons.
You got it. That's how I roll, dog. That's how I roll. Okay, forced proximity. What else we got? What else? What other worlds do we have at these theme parks? What's at the cars? Boom. Forced proximity. Humanoid cars, aka Doc Hollywood. Forced proximity. Sorry.
I think you're just spitting things out now.
Well, it's true. I mean, Dr. Ben Stone was sentenced to serve in that town, and that's when he fell in love with his coworker, the ambulance driver, on his way to his big city job. And in Cars, Lightning McQueen, insert Chow. Yeah, developed a relationship with the attorney, as well as the whole town. He loved that town. So it was done. You know what I'm saying? I can go on. I could tie stuff together if you want. Transformers, more than meets the eye.
I mean, it's fine. Like, if we don't have anything more to say, we don't have to pad an episode.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Cool.
But like, if anyone wants to add anything, then obviously.
Like Ashley and I, forced proximity. Remember that time I slashed all your tires and you had to spend the night?
That's not for the podcast.
I never did that. I'm just joking.
I was going to say, did you kidnap her? Ash, are you safe?
I will
Blinked
admit.
twice.
I will admit that I think he bamboozled me in the beginning, but he didn't.
The old
kidnap me.
bait and switch is what I did.
Kelly, did I bamboozle you?
No.
Oh, that book I was telling you about, The Bodyguard, that's Catherine Center.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it. It was funny.
Forced proximity, Joker, and
No,
that lady.
Nope.
The
Harley
health
Quinn.
service.
choice.
Yeah, Harley Quinn.
That was choice.
That was forced proximity.
I don't think
He abused her into.
that's abuse is not.
Well, was it? I don't know, Kelly. You know the comic books better than I do. Isn't that like a workplace thing? Didn't she work at the asylum where he was at?
Yeah.
So is that a workplace situation? Maybe.
I think that makes a little bit more sense. I don't know if it's as forced proximity.
Is Brokeback Mountain forced proximity? I mean, they weren't forced. It was willing
I was
proximity.
gonna say that's a choice.
I just can't quit you.
Forced proximity in our life is why it's so much was so much easier to meet people and make friends when we were kids. We were all thrown together in school, and we had to spend time together, right? And as adults, we're all in our own little hidey holes. We go our separate ways, and it's harder to meet new people.
Correct. So we got swipe right and left.
Right and left?
It's a dating app thing.
Okay.
Popular with the kids, 6, 7, stuff like that.
Okay.
Mari, did you read Divine Rivals?
Divine Rivals.
Is that what it's called? Now I'm questioning my own sanity. Sorry.
Who did it and what's the premise?
Rebecca Ross?
What is that? Oh, I did not read it, but I know the one you're talking about. Yeah, with like the letters or the typewriters.
The typewriters, yeah.
I did not read that one. You read that one, right? That and the sequel?
I did. I wasn't like super into it, but I'm trying to struggle and see if it's forced proximity because I think it's the magic that brings them together and so they get wrapped up in that. You know what I mean? Without fully knowing who the other is. So it's not exactly workplace or kidnapping, but it's like the magic forces them into that situation. And I don't think I've figured out exactly why. I should go back and read it at some point, but I'm hoping the sequel is better. I haven't gotten to it yet. Okay. I was just wondering if you thought maybe that would fall into it.
I haven't read it. I've heard great things about it, but I haven't read it yet. But that reminds me, I was thinking earlier about Ice Planet Barbarian series.
Oh, yeah. That's forced.
Yeah, and you get that in a lot of like science fiction romance where you have like the characters are thrown together for survival, basically. Alien, human, etc. And they're forced to spend time together to survive, to get from point A to B, to figure out a quest, to contact somebody, whatever the situation is, and then feelings develop along the way.
Right.
Which I still have to finish that series, but I will get to it.
Another 50-book series.
I know, like that one, and Black Dagger Brotherhood. Like I'm on book 17, I believe, of 23. So I'm getting there. All right. Anything else before I wrap it up?
No.
Are we not going to say anything about Sarah?
Tell me more.
She announced her book.
Not today.
News.
We can do it as a little segment in this one, and we can talk about it next time too. So it's a little behind the scenes on this. Today's the 5th of March, which means yesterday on the 4th, Sarah J. Maas was on the Call Her Daddy podcast, and a really interesting listen. Talked a lot about the books, the headspace she was in for these books, some of the reasoning why she made some of the choices with some of the characters, which was really good. And dropped the news that we're getting 3. Kelly and I had a discussion about this earlier. 3-part sequel. It's not a trilogy. It's 3 books. Whatever we want to call it. The next installment in the ACOTAR story. It's going to be 3 parts. The first one is going to be released October 27th.
Correct.
The second one is going to be released January 12th.
Yes.
Is that right? And the third one is still being written. And I went in and put in for those days off from work today.
Did you? Oh, you did take off from work?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I got some friends who are like right there too. Like, okay, I gotta get off for this. I'm like,
I plan on
just
reading.
banging sick.
And if there's any bookstores I can drive to that are doing any sort of like a midnight release party, I'm there.
Right.
I think that would be really fun.
I told Jonathan I need him to burn an Audible credit for me for these two because it's going to be so expensive.
So Jonathan, did you listen to the podcast?
I did not.
Okay, I was going to say, because if anyone who's not like read all the books, if you care about spoilers, I wouldn't listen to the podcast. The
right.
Call Her Daddy podcast, because Jojo Mass talks about all the stories.
Yeah, they get into the weeds. And so like I've not read all the books, but I knew a lot of the tea, like the gists of the later ones. But man, we got some good spoilers too.
Yeah. Like
some things that a lot of people latched on, throughout because I was like reading the chat as it was happening. And so I'm interested. I've been tied up today. I haven't had a chance to really like get into the socials, but I'm curious like what the social influencers are digging into as, far as some of the things that she talked about last night.
Yeah. I'm trying to say this without a lot of spoilers, but there's something that happens later in the books that she gets a lot of flack for writing. It's a trope that a lot of people don't like in their books, especially in romance. And I think that she did a really good job of talking about her medical trauma and things that happened to her, while she was coming up with this, and that inspired her to do that, and the headspace she was in to write what happened to that character. And I thought it was really interesting because most women I know have some story, some version of not great medical situation that happened to them. Varying degrees of that, but like it's a common enough thing that I think a lot of people would empathize with that and have something where like they can relate to it. Yeah, I thought it was a really interesting descriptor of a thing that she often gets flack for. What else did she talk about? I'm trying to see what else I can talk about without doing any major spoilers.
Can we talk about something that she announced, but I don't think that everybody caught it, or at least like in the interview they didn't like dig into it? Yeah. Bryaxis is a girl?
Yeah.
The whole chat blew up at that. Yeah. Absolutely lost their fucking minds. I thought that was just such a neat little tidbit there.
Yeah. Yeah.
She said it so nonchalantly, like that it was common knowledge, and it is not.
Right. I thought it was interesting when she talked about like some of the trauma, stress, whatever that she went through, writing some of the more, the ACOTAR books that are out now, and how she would have like panic attacks.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, that reminds me of Rebecca Yarros not that long ago that was talking about the same situation, where you have these very popular authors write stories that are very popular and people latch onto, and then these authors get under extreme pressure from the readers, the fans, the editors, the publishers to like keep producing and producing and producing. And remember that like as much as we want to see what comes next, as much as we want more stories from these artists that we like, they don't owe us anything.
Yeah.
Especially when they're at that level of like literally could never write another book and still be financially fine for the rest of their life.
I want to know about the 4 manuscripts she's just got sitting on her computer.
Yes.
Tell me more, Sarah.
What stories are those? Where do they go?
Tell
are they vigils?
More.
Is this like a series? Does it interlope with something else?
Right.
So, I mean, maybe when she finishes ACOTAR, we might get some of that. I thought the other thing that was interesting that she talked about is that she, got back her movie rights, and that she's really that now, and how what kind of control she wants to be able to do that, where she would want to be able to have say on like the music, the actors, the plot points, like all the things.
I don't want to compare apples to oranges for any, like, I don't mean this in any negative way, but this whole situation yesterday with her in this podcast was very Taylor Swift coded, announcing.
We love Mother.
And we love Mother. And Sarah J. Maas's Mother for books too. We have multiple mothers. We have many mothers that have set the standard.
Many moms. many moms.
But, the whole releasing 2 books basically at the same time, announcing on a podcast that is very well known and very, very popular, getting the rights to her things back, right? I didn't even know that was a concern of hers. You know what I mean? And it explains the extensive delays and, the indefinite suspension of ACOTAR being, made into a series or whatever. Right. I didn't know that she was dealing with that at all. And so I think that explains a lot, and it gives her fans, maybe not closure, because she's not saying that it's dead, but I think it gives us, an update so that we know, they're not just sitting on this and twiddling their thumbs.
Yeah. I think
she wants to make it right.
After Game of Thrones, I would be surprised if very many producers, however they invest money for these TV shows or movies, are willing to do as much for a series that's not complete, or that's like very, very likely to be complete. And so I wonder, like, if part of her being, coming together with finish or doing more ACOTAR, I don't know if it's finishing, I don't know how many there's going to be total or whatever, but like moving that story forward and maybe finishing the story is part of like what she wants, to be able to have it all be done before there is a TV show or movie.
Sure. Or, closer, which I think for some reason, I think they said that book 8 was going to be the last.
I think
but so. But she's also said that it's not impossible that we'll never see, the Throne of Glass folks again either. Right. So I don't think any of her stories are ever fully complete.
Yeah.
But anyway, yay for 2 books.
Yes.
I was telling Jonathan earlier that it's just nice to have something to look forward to. Not that we're not excited about other books, but like this is hype level. This is fangirling level. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've got
5 years is a long time.
Right. Like, Jonathan, you're reading the second one. I've got a friend who I've convinced to move beyond the first one and is reading the second one now. And it's like, it'll be interesting to be able to like see if they continue with it and be able to go on and maybe read all these books for the first time together, these new ones that come out.
Yeah.
Because it's always nice to have somebody to talk to when you're reading something like, oh my God, did you see that?
Yeah.
What's going to happen there? What did they mean with that? What did Lorcan do?
What did Lorcan do? It's fucking wild. In hindsight, like, I think I would have been absolutely destroyed if Throne of Glass had not been finished.
Yeah.
Like, and I had to wait for that. You know what I mean? So I purposely stopped at book 3 for ACOTAR. It just kind of wrapped up a little bit nice enough to where I wasn't like a crackhead looking for my next fix.
Right.
So I'm glad I've waited. I'll probably go back and read and, prepare for what's coming.
Yeah, I was just thinking that I will probably be rereading everything before.
Need that refresher.
Adding that to my TBR schedule to have that done before
Studying
October.
for the test,
Yes.
October 27th.
Yes. Nice little pre-Halloween situation to look forward to.
Pre-BookCon.
That's right. When is romantasy?
Just after that weekend.
Ooh. Yes.
That was my first thought. I was like, fuck, I hope this doesn't interfere with BookCon. But then I remembered that books are on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that weekend. So there'll be some fun hype for the BookCon, I think. Things to talk about, maybe merch, from other vendors and stuff.
Yeah. Maybe some interesting discussions at like the panels and whatnot. Yeah. Okay. So romantasy is the weekend before. You're right.
Oh, before.
So romantasy is the 22nd.
Oh.
Friday. I'm sorry. Friday the 23rd. So romantasy is happening first. And then that Tuesday, I believe, Tuesday 27th, right after romantasy.
Beautiful. That's better for me. That's better for me, but I think I still think we're going to get a lot of like good BookCon like merch and things to look at and see and talk about.
Yeah. Well, I mean, plus also remember there are people who are getting advanced reader copies. So
The
there will be
chosen
people
ones.
talking about things.
Motherfucker.
I'm fine with that. Like, I am the worst. I've gotten a few advanced reader copies, and I'm so sorry, authors that have done that. Like, I'm the worst about reading them on time.
Sure.
Like the last one I got, Sebastian Nothwell, I Love You. And I'm working on it. I still have to read that one. I've got one from him. I know, I'm the worst. And I'm like, but I told him ahead of time, and I tell any of them ahead of time, I'm like, I can't promise you I'm going to read it before the release date. And if that's something you need to give it to somebody else. I can promise you I'll give you a review on like Fable and Goodreads and Tome, you know, and Storygraph. Like, that much I can give you. All right. So any other Sarah J. Maas interview stuff?
No, we'll save that one for the next one.
Yeah.
Stop torturing the boys.
Yeah, I don't care.
No, I think it was good. I think it was insightful. You know, I think she dived into a lot of like personal things, which I didn't necessarily expect,
right?
But appreciate, right? Because it gives us some insight. I didn't know about her obsession with like Legolas, and I think it explains a lot, especially in Rowan.
And like Sailor Moon, like she has a little bit of a geek side. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I enjoyed it, and it was long, right? So it was like 2 hours. Mm-hmm. You're getting a lot of bang for your time. Podcasts aren't necessarily my thing, so I enjoyed it. It's definitely worth a listen and or a watch. Even as not a fan, like it was a good interview. Like I really enjoyed listening to her tell her stories, although she could tone it down on the likes. A lot. Like a lot.
I'm
there was a lot of likes.
It's like many authors, even though she's famous and everything, I think a lot of authors, they don't do a lot of interviews. They don't do a lot of like public
especially
speaking.
Her, I think, right?
So it's one thing to write something out. It's another thing to have to come up with stuff, you know, on the fly.
Yeah, she came off to me like very much a girl's girl. You know what I mean? Like she was probably a real fun time in like middle school, and she would have been in high school if she was in a better situation. I enjoyed it though. Yeah,
I did too. So I'd recommend anyone to search it out and listen to it if you're okay with spoilers or if you've already read those, for sure.
Agreed.
Also, the one thing I've been telling everybody that I've been recommending it to is like, if medical trauma is a thing for you, just make sure you're in the right space to listen to some of that, FYI.
Agreed.
Okay, I'm going to wrap it up unless we have anything else.
I'm good.
Okay. So thanks for listening to Of Swords and Soulmates. Before we go, make sure to check out the show notes, rate, review, and subscribe to us on your podcast app of choice. It helps others to find us. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Of Swords and Soulmates. Check us out on our website, ofswordsandsoulmates.com. If you'd like to offer a suggestion for a future episode, book, or discussion topic, feel free to reach out to us on the DMs of any of those options. If you want to read along with us as we prep for a new episode and get chapter-by-chapter interaction, join our Fable app book club by searching for the Of Swords and Soulmates book club on that app. And last but not least, we hope you'll join us in 2 weeks for our next episode when we will be reading Crown of War and Shadow by J.R. Ward, which, by the way, I just saw a little thing on it, has the forced proximity trope. So, there you go. All right, bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.